And as promised and as we wanted for a long time, we are here with one of my kind of favorite DJs in the Chicago scene. Her name is Ariel Zetina, and she's right here.
Hello.
We're here at Smartbar. We're so excited because you have a residency here, right?
Yes, I do.
But before we go into like everything that composes you and like your music and your sets, for the audience and people that don't know who you are, like who's Ariel Zetina?
Yeah. So I'm Ariel Zetina.
Yeah.
So I am based in Chicago. I am a DJ, electronic music producer. I'm a writer, and then I have other hats sometimes. I've been performance artist before. I've done a little bit of everything, I think, at one point.
Really?
But yeah, that's I feel like the club is kind of my main space I'm in, and it definitely is what kind of inspires me in my other stuff too. It's a little bit of the club is in everything I do, I think.
That's amazing. So knowing that the club, and it's what like makes you thrive or gets you fired, when was the moment that you were like, okay, I am actually gonna start doing this, being a DJ, mixing? I don't know, how was that story, or how did you land there?
That's actually a great question. I have a specific moment too where I was like, wow. So yeah, this was like maybe 2013, it was like 12, 13, 14, somewhere around there. But I was like, at the time, like I was doing a bunch of theater and kind of like trying to find what I was trying to do in the city. And I like had always like been interested in electronic music and doing it. I'd already been DJing a little bit at that point, and I was kind of just going out, and I had maybe had like 1 or 2 gigs at that point. But okay. I was at the club, and this group, Nguzu, which is this amazing group. I feel like their claim to fame is they were on like Kalela's original mixtape that she released, so they were kind of like one of the people that were kind of making that like original sound that she was doing. But it was really specifically seeing the girl, DJ Asmara, that was in it because it's a duo, and just seeing her just completely like overtake this club and have this sort of very totality kind of feeling of like everything was reverbing against everything else, and there was just such a connection. And I think I was like, oh, like this is something I can do seriously, and this is something that could really like affect an entire space. And yeah, so for me it was that, but it was a bunch of little things as well.
When I hear music, one of the biggest thing I think, and this is why I love electronic music, and I love when people just mix and create sounds out of like not nowhere, but it's like capacity to like encapsulate like either a moment in time, or like an emotion, or like a consequence of something, or like tell a story. How do you think that like DJ has allowed you to like express yourself, like in your sets? Or do you use it as a tool to express, also to like, host a room? Like, what is that relationship that you have, with like sound and I don't know, people
and time and space? No, exactly.
It's
a real. I think for me, it's like a lot of what I always try to do is not necessarily, I'm not creating a narrative, but I'm creating, and I don't necessarily want to say a journey, because I feel like a journey sometimes feels like we're meandering in a lot of different places. But the idea that we're going to have, a climax and conflict and drama in the middle of this, and we have something maybe that we are able to follow that's in the music, that's not necessarily like, oh, this song going into this song. And obviously a lot of that is left up to the interpretation, and none of my stuff is like, oh, you're trying to feel this into this. But I think for me, that's at least what I feel like my kind of secret power in DJ things has been, is kind of taking like my knowledge of just, like narrative arts and time-based arts, and just like, like kind of like just working on, when you like work on whether it's like a play or like a group project. I don't want to say group project, that's bad connotations, but I think it's like, everyone's trying to drive to do the same thing. And I think when you're DJing, I take a lot of that work, and I'm trying to do that with, the group of people that are in the space.
Yeah. Is that improvised to an extent, or is that like something you've set before your set, to be redundant? But is there some play there, or do you have an idea of, okay, this is like the path I want to follow and the story I want to tell, or is it more like in the moment, what you're feeling?
I definitely live off of the improvisation. I think there's always been moments of that, because even if I prepare something to a T, there's always going to be something that feels different in the situation. I think I'll have very specific ideas sometimes where it's like, oh, this song needs to be in this set, or this song needs to be here somewhere, or these type of two genres need to be in here somewhere. And usually that's based on either what I'm feeling in the moment. It could be like what's on TikTok sometimes. Like it can just be like, oh, if I'm playing a more, if I'm playing a genre party, or if I'm playing a party where it's like, oh, I know this is going to be the vibe that people would be most interested in. I try to cater it while still like trying to be myself. But for the most part, I mean, it's really, I think I learned like very quickly DJing in clubs that like you can tell when someone is like not interested in not being there. And like I think I've kind of learned how, you kind of make sure the space is taken care of and is kind of propulsing forward, because it's like, it's so easy to just go and get a drink and go and get some water.
I was going to ask how much of the audience's participation or emotion as a collective is part of that improvisation. I'm sure you kind of can see if people are like in a euphoric state or kind of like just bumping along, not feeling. Is that part of it?
Oh,
like
yeah.
You look at the crowd and you're like, okay, I need to like spice this up, or is it more internal?
Oh yeah, no, I think especially with American audiences, I would say it's just I think there's this like just this kind of notion that a lot of times when people, especially if I'm like opening for an artist and not like a DJ, and there's going to be something to watch, like it's this thing where I might be playing and the room is like completely like not giving me anything. And I think even when that's happening, like it's always about working against it. And it's like, how are you actually like addressing the audience and doing it that way, or how are you switching it around? But I think it's always participatory, even when it's very just viewers. I think that's what I really like about being in the club, is it is this kind of art form where it's like you really do need like a group of people or a group of it has to happen publicly. And like as much as people talk about like phones on the dance floor, I'm like, also like a lot of the people I know are like not necessarily on their phones on the dance floor. There's a mixture of it, and it kind of depends.